Hello, everybody. Welcome to Just Doing What We Do, a podcast from me, Michael, and my guy, Anthony, who's kind of more up there. We're just two Mountain Dew loving friends who like video games and entertainment. Join us as we talk about what we're doing, what kind of Mountain Dew we're drinking this week, or in this week's case, what our Mountain Dew of choice is, and the gaming and entertainment news that sticks out to us. If you guys want to join in on the fun, talk to us about your Dew experiences and what all you've been playing or watching, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, please, and make sure to join us in the comments below, because, we like interacting. It's good for us. So now that we're done with that, how are you doing, Anthony?
I'm doing well, living the dream.
One
It's actually been
nightmare?
a chill weekend.
Okay, that's good. I like a chill weekend.
Yeah, depends on the day. No, this weekend's been pretty chill. How about yourself?
The weekend's been chill. I had Des for the first weekend in 3 weekends in a row. Because basically it's this weekend I'd have him per agreements, and then next weekend is Father's Day, so I have him per agreements, and then next weekend I'll have him per agreements. Now it's spoiler, Sunday evening when we're recording this, so he's currently with his mom. It was a pretty chill weekend. Just I sat outside by the pool today and did nothing. Maybe got a little sunburnt, and yeah.
Sun is good. Burning, not so much.
Yeah, but I got color though.
So supposedly they make stuff for that, but I don't use it.
I no, I'm a natural. I'm probably gonna get skin cancer, but it's worth it. Oh, normally, since this is gonna be the first kind of podcast to you guys, what we're gonna be doing is we're just gonna be talking about things that we've thought about throughout the week. Let Anthony introduce it, since technically it was his idea.
The obvious topic
The obvious topic
for our first.
for the first topic.
I mean, yeah, since we're leaning into our shared love of Mountain Dew, obviously we need to discuss what our favorite flavors are. I mean, I know I'm doing one of the rewards things. Talk Mountain Dew.
Okay.
Are you drinking some right now?
I am. I'm just drinking bog standard Mountain Dew because, spoiler alert to everyone out there. It's not really a spoiler. It's a good thing to know about me. I drink so much pop that I realized it was way cheaper for me to do a soda stream because I can get Pepsi and Mountain Dew in a soda stream. So, it generally looks like I'm drinking something alcoholic, which this is not. We'll get to one of those alcoholic topics later, but this is just a bog standard Mountain Dew for me tonight. How about you?
I am drinking it out of the bottle.
Ooh. Just a bog standard Dew, or... Okay.
Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor yet.
Please sponsor us, Mountain Dew. We would flip our collective lids if you sponsored us. Our pop lids. Oh! I'm sorry. No, I'm not. So you're drinking bog standard. I'm drinking bog standard. What's your favorite Mountain Dew then?
I think my all-time favorite flavor was the Pitch Black. Maybe Pitch Black 2, if anyone remembers that one.
Pitch Black 2?
Yeah, it was because the first one was just like a grape. And then shortly after the first one, they came out with a second one. I swear it's real. That was like a sour grape. And that one didn't last. That one was there and gone.
Hold on. I need to know now.
I swear it's real.
Pitch Black 2.
I swear it's a real thing.
Pitch Black 2. MountainDew.fandom.com/wiki. It was a Mountain Dew flavor released for the Halloween season of 2005 for a limited time as a sour bite sequel to 2004's black grape flavored Pitch Black. So you're not going crazy. You're not being Mandela affected.
So it was a Halloween special.
It was a Halloween special. But that kind of sounds good. like really sounds good. Like, yo, Mountain Dew, you should do that again, please. Like, I want to try it. I still have, I think I have 2 cans. Maybe I only got one, ended up saving 1 can of Pitch Black from the last time it ran. But
I did. Here's my dedication. I did. Oh, probably within the last year, maybe. I think it was right before they came out with it again. I wanted to try it again. So I went on eBay and bought an unopened can of Original Run Pitch Black for like $30 for the can.
yep, I remember
Best 30
you
bucks. Best
drinking
30
it
bucks I've
before.
ever spent.
Yeah, I remember you drinking it. Maybe on a stream or something. I don't remember, but I remember you drinking it. And you're like, it tastes like Pitch Black. It's flat, but it's Pitch Black.
Yeah, it was a little flat if I
So my big goal, and I think I'm going to try to document the idea throughout the podcast, is I'm going to be trying to recreate some of their flavors as like add-ons, because like I don't want to try to mess with the chemistry of the bottle or like chemistry of the syrups that they've got for SodaStream. But like if what I could do would be like add like a couple drops of like I don't know, like let's say a grape flavor, and then pour the Mountain Dew into it, and then I get a Pitch Black tasting Mountain Dew. Like, I'm not saying it's $1 million idea, but it might be $1 billion idea.
I mean, it was really just a grape, so I'm sure you could pull it off.
Pull it off, yeah. Like, I'll also do the same for like Baja. I'm gonna try to do the same for Baja Blast. Figure out what that kind of get those flavors, and you know.
Mountain Dew's got some outdoor gear that they're doing. You get points for buying certain
Right,
products.
rewards. Yeah, I haven't signed up for rewards at all.
I'm, because I'll buy because I've been drinking just regular.
Mm-hmm.
That's been my go-to for a while. I'm gonna try and get some outdoor camping folding chairs.
Okay. Honestly, that's a fair way to do it, and like, honestly, like that is one downside to SodaStreams. You don't get like reward stuff, but I also buy enough like bottles because I'm always trying the flavors and bottles. But like, yeah, if like I think that's kind of a smart way. Plus, you'll have a sweet looking chair.
Yeah.
So I was doom scrolling Reddit a few days ago, and I came across this article that Germans will mix cola with lagers. And you know what? It caught my attention. Mix beer and pop? Why not? So, I, being the individual that I am, went to the Quick Start just down the road. Please sponsor, but not sponsored. And bought an Exile Ruthie, which is a Des Moines brewery. Please sponsor, but not sponsored. And it's a good lager. I've had a couple this weekend. Actually, I mostly drank Voodoo Ranger last night. So I learned how they did this, and if you look at the article, maybe I'll pull it up on screen, but probably not. Basically, they pour the cola in first. So I've got my SodaStream Pepsi here. And then they said in the article it's about, you halfway, just kind of depends on what you want to do. So we're going to do that cola first. I'm going to go about half there. Maybe a little bit more than half. That's on me, but it's worth a try. It's a lager. It's fine. I'm more of an IPA guy, but it's fine. And so now I have this mixture called a diesel, apparently, is what they call it. I mean, it's actually got several different names in Germany. Let me pull up the article here. Beer cola mixer diesel. The soda makes the beer sweeter and reduces the alcohol content. The refreshing cola and beer drink is very popular in German beer gardens and is a favorite at German barbecues. Depending on the region, there are other names for the cola and beer drinks, such as Kalter Kaffee, Murwasser. I'm so sorry, Germans. Schmutzgies or Drecksack. Um, again, I apologize to everyone who actually knows German. So this is me trying diesel, and I'm just gonna be kind of curious.
This is the part where we wait for him to figure out what he's thinking.
Yeah, a lot of dead silence here. Sorry, everyone. Okay, here's the honest truth. It's okay. It's fine. I'm not gonna. If I went to Germany, I'm not doing this. But I wonder if it's my Pepsi. And I wasn't really going to talk about it because it's kind of a half thing, but I'd actually be more curious to try it with a Coke or a Dr. Pepper. Sorry about that, everyone. Just because I think it's going to taste a little bit better. It also could be the lager because I think every lager and every cola is going to interact differently. But honestly, it's not half bad. I think next time I'll do less pop and more beer, and we'll see what happens.
It's worth experimenting with. I'd be interested to see because I've tried some of your SodaStream sodas, and I know they taste different
They
than out of the can or out of the bottle.
or even out
So
of a different tap. That's fine. Now I'm gonna pull open. I'm looking at peeling behind the curtain to everyone. I want to hear about your summer plans. On that note, I leave the floor to you, sir.
um, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it an all summer plan. It's 1 week out of the summer. I
True.
think we're going the beginning of July. I wouldn't call it a mission trip per se. It's I would almost liken it to a Habitat for Humanity kind of thing, um, but more focused on a specific region. So it's called the Appalachian Service Project, and I said it that way because that's how they say it down there. Uh, they pronounce the CH differently, and I've because I started going. It's actually it's a Methodist organization, and so we started going. We knew people through I think my sister's Girl Scout leader. So we got to be good friends with them, and they were doing it. I think my dad went 1 year, and he really liked it. And so the first year that I was old enough to go, I went, and I guess one of the ways that I like to apply myself uh, is serving others, and so that was a really good fit for me. So I ended up going. I want to say I went like 12 years in a row, missed a year, went a year, somewhere in there. Um, but there were a few years I went even without my dad, and I guess technically this year I'm also going without him. I think this is my 15th, would be my 15th year going. So the way they have it set up, it was founded by Tex Evans, um, and it's a summer long. The whole thing ends up being a summer long thing, and then they break it down into weeks, and each church gets signs up for a week, and then we're assigned an area. So they have different counties that they go to. When I started going, it was 8 weeks, and I think they've gone down to 7, or that might be specific to the county sometimes. But so we'll work Monday through Friday, normal work day, but we're making home improvements, building, sometimes replacing walls, building decks. Oh, what all have I done? I've dug drainage trenches, built decks, put in flooring, insulation, drywall, uh, all your basic stuff. And it's usually fairly basic. Sometimes they try and stay away from like the more anything that you need to be certified for, so like actual plumbing, actual electrical. But yeah, a lot of basic carpentry. So yeah, we'll be down there for the week. We'll do that and then we'll leave. And then they've got usually it's usually college age. I say college age. It makes me feel old.
Yeah.
Because college age now, it's like,
Dude, college
because
age is.
when I started going so they've got 4 staffers there, and they're like fresh out of, well, they're usually like in college. They're usually like, I would say like 20 to 24 age. So when
Okay.
I started going, they were like old and like they knew things, and now it's like I've probably experienced more life than you have, and that's okay. But I think it's a really good experience for them because they go down for the whole summer, and they're learning. They have to. I mean, kind of like. I mean, this won't mean anything to most of our listeners, but you remember Virginia Beach, where they basically handed us uh, a card with X amount of dollars on it and said, "You're in charge of food.
Here's your
You
stipend.
budget your meals,
Yep.
and if you don't do it right, you might be hungry for a week."
Tough
So
luck.
I mean, it's a really good experience for them, and then interacting with all of the, because this year it's supposed to be, well, usually it's like half and half adults and youth. So like the first hand dozen years I went, like half of us were youth age, so like high school
Yep.
or early college.
Yeah. Young adult,
Um, yeah,
more or less.
and this year, and I don't know because I kind of jumped in right at the end, so I've been out of it at least since I moved to where I am now, um, and it's kind of been on the back burner because I've been doing other things. But now a combination of life has, I don't want to say solidified, but become consistent, stabilized. That's the word I'm looking for. Both stabilized outwardly, and then internally, I've been going through some personal things. And I mean, for me personally, I realized I needed something to ground myself with, and that was always a big part of me growing up. And I was like, I can afford it. I can do it. I
Yep.
can do whatever I want. I'm an adult, so
It's true.
I'll do it.
I do what I want.
So, yeah, a couple weeks ago, I called up like the guy who's in charge of it. I still know him, and so yeah, I just called him up and I was like, "Hey, you got any spots left? I want to go." And they were like, "Yeah, we'll put you on the list." I think this year, and I don't know what made them decide this, but it's mostly adults. I think it was supposed to be like an all adult thing, but I think there's like one or two youths going, from what I could tell.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. I only know for sure 2 people who are going, so I haven't yet met the rest of the crew.
Gotcha.
But yes, and it's usually like a lot of, depending on the group size, um, you'll usually get 2 or 3 different churches at each location, and so you'll meet people from other places, and which has it's good, and it's generally good.
You
I mean,
get to
we
experience a load of perspectives.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, um, and I'll be doing that early July. So here in actually in a month from now, I will be down there, uh, and I think we're in. So it's the Appalachian region of like Kentucky, Tennessee, and the Virginias.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very localized. So it's not like a, like a Habitat for Humanity is pretty much everywhere. Um, this one's very localized, and it's usually we're building stuff for those who either can't afford it or can't do it themselves. And then the other fun part is the experience of where they put us up for the week, our center, if you will,
Yeah.
because there's a couple year round centers that are really nice, and I've stayed at least one of them, maybe both of them, and you know, indoor showers, nice little bunk rooms. But I sometimes, and I enjoy this part. I know a bunch of people listening are going to be like, why would you do that? Um, one year, our showers were uh, two little cubes, cubicle showers built out of 2x4s and tarps that were outside that had no roof, so you could be showering and look up at the stars and have a nice view. And at least for the guys' sleeping quarters, our ceiling may have been more black mold than it was ceiling tile. It's
No,
it's
that's not right.
it's so much fun.
You and I
It's
have
like,
different.
and it's not for it's kind of like camping to the extreme. I mean, I think one year our center flooded, like our lower level, the hall. It was like an old school, and we were all sleeping on the second level, and in the middle of the night, the ground floor, just the hallway just filled with water, and
You know,
it's
power to you guys for doing it though. That's something I probably should do, but have not done. Nor do I really want to, if I'm being honest.
I mean, some years you get lucky and you get like, I think Jonesville is one of the. Actually, I think Jonesville is the primary center, and so it's nice. It's got a nice big patio. You've got indoor showers. They've got a proper kitchen. Um, it's almost like a motel, like more of a like a retreat center.
Yeah, it's like going to the YMCA, kind of down westbound of here.
I might go fancy this year, but generally, like, I take a camping cot, and that's what I sleep on for a week. And I mean, it's basically camping,
Yeah,
sort of.
I don't
I mean,
mind.
it's a little nicer.
I don't mind camping, and I think, to be fair, some aspects of what you're doing kind of sound enjoyable and like not necessarily always fun, but enjoyable.
Yeah.
Camping I could be for as long as it's like regular camping and I'm not like, bruh, is this building gonna collapse on us while we sleep?
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
like I'm
it's
down for like tent cities, like, oh, this family sleeps in that tent and in that tent we got there and then that tent where we cook. Like there's some fun stuff to camping, but like there's also some things I go, no.
yeah. And that's not usually it's I give that example because
Extreme.
it's extreme and I like the reaction, but it's usually not that bad.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I mean, the worst part usually with those locations is the fact that there's not a whole lot in terms of climate control. So usually, I mean, if you like white noise while you're sleeping, you're good to go because we've got, the large industrial fans going because it's hot and humid. I mean, that's usually the worst part. And then the shower situation. I mean, I really like the outdoor shower idea. I know a lot of people who are like, "No, I like my." It was, and the water, the pipe, the plumbing was just a garden hose.
Okay,
I should have also
there's
included
where
that.
we change. Okay, cool. That's where the shower becomes a little less fun. Like you had me like you could take a shower at night and look at the stars. I'm like, okay, I'm s- I'm sold on that aspect. It's a garden hose.
I mean,
Done
I
it.
think they had a shower head on there so that it was like not just a
Yeah, not just a stream. It's kind of like a shower. I'm sure they had
but
a
it
shower
was
head, but
definitely
yeah,
two by fours, tarps, and a garden hose, and that was the showers.
I can do that. Like I, a kid, me in my youth would have been all for it. And me now, mid 30s, I'm like, I'm not sure I want to, but I could do it. You know,
And that's fair.
that would be
Yeah.
fun.
So yeah, that is my big plan this summer. And yeah, I might get fancy and buy a new camping cot or
A tent.
some extra padding. Well, we don't sleep outside. We are sleeping indoors. Usually in like a,
Usually in a nice,
I mean, we've,
relatively nice building, it seems like.
yeah. Sometimes it's just a gymnasium, and it's usually not terrible. And I mean, they do try and take care of us. As I mean, they're not gonna put us up in like a building that's about to actually fall on top of us. It's more about why you're there and
Yeah.
what you have to endure to be there.
Yeah. That makes
And
sense.
it's yeah. I decided, you know what, it's time to go at least this year, and I, there's a strong possibility I'm going to make this a regular thing again because I did always enjoy it. See, usually you get there, and a lot of these families have had 8 different groups come through their house, and you're in there, you're taking out the floors, you're putting new floors in, you're building something, and we always used to try and go towards the end of the summer, so week 7 or 8, because that first, it's like if you go week 1, most of what you're doing is demolition. You're taking something out so that other groups can put something back in. But you get to the end, and usually you've spent the week building a relationship with this family. Most of the time, there's kids, uh, and so a lot of the youths would get to know the kids, and then at the end of the week you see, you know you've now built this thing that they didn't have before, and so maybe they can get in and out of their house easier, or whatever it is, something works better than it did before. And the appreciation and the reaction and the joy that you see from those people, I mean, that's what sticks with you. That's what, I mean. And it's like I'm gonna be far from the youngest person who's going. um and a lot of these guys, I mean, I don't know if he's going this year, but there was one guy who I think he had been every year that church had been going, and he kept a record of every year and who went and how many times each person has been, and he's older than my dad. He's probably late 60s, early 70s by this point. So yeah, it's not for everybody, but and I would, and for our listeners, I would recommend looking into it. Appalachian Service Project. I think any church can sign up for it. Generally, I mean, so I would look into it. I don't know. Mostly, it's a Methodist organization, so I think it's mostly Methodist churches. I mean, that's who I go with, is a Methodist church. And I think the Collegiate Methodist Church, they went with us a few times. Yeah, if it's something that you might be interested in, because it's, I mean, it's local. I mean, it's not like like a Habitat where you're going to like a third world country and maybe really getting out of your comfort zone. It's, you're within the states. Not that Habitat's bad, but
Yeah,
it's another step.
there are different venues, and all things are equally useful and needed. So, like, helping is helping.
And yeah, and I will absolutely, after I come back from, so I might miss a week of recording,
I
but
figured that's okay.
so yeah, I would be interested in hearing your take on your that first topic.
Okay.
Because
So,
I grew up playing the original.
hey,
Hint,
to
hint,
be
hint.
fair, I've played the original several times. It's just I've never gotten super far in it because I don't know, ADHD, lots of video
It's a
games.
long.
It's a long game, and I didn't play it in my youth. I was playing like Secret of Mana, Tales of Symphonia, other JRPGs. So like I had other JRPGs. I didn't play that one. But that does get us back to this. So
That's fair.
I have been playing a lot of Final Fantasy VII, the remake, as if you're, we kind of more than obviously alluded to, without explicitly saying, I don't think. Anyway, So yeah, I've been playing the Final Fantasy VII remake. It's the thing with a JRPG is it's still a commitment. Like, I'm like something like 30-ish hours in, and I'm like, ooh. I mean, to be honest, I also think I'm getting really close to the ending of, excuse me, the ending of this part. Just because, it did like you will not be able to go back and do these things once you enter Shinra. I'm like, oh, okay. Um, but like I just literally I was playing this evening up until taking a shower because I was like falling asleep in on the couch. Like I had a TV show on TV, I had something on my phone, and I'm like playing Final Fantasy 7 remake and like kind of like nodding off, and I was like, nope, I'm gonna go take a shower. So I took a shower, and so technically it's still on pause in my living room, but plugged in obviously because I don't want the battery to die because I'm in the middle of a cutscene or just got out of a cutscene. Just met the mayor. Which I don't know if the mayor's an OG or not, but like I would assume he is just based off the plotting.
Uh,
He's the inside man for Avalanche.
oh, Heidegger? It's not Heidegger, is it? Again, they've changed. I looked at it. They've changed some things. So, like, when you say Avalanche's inside man, I'm thinking of someone different than you probably are.
Probably.
And I'm probably thinking of that person because I know things that you haven't come to yet, at least in the remake.
Yeah, and I have no idea what part 2 even covers because obviously I haven't played it yet.
I mean, from what I saw, part one ends as soon as you leave Midgar, which, depending on if have you gone to the Shinra building yet?
Yeah, I just mayor of Midgar gave me a upgraded my like security cards now I can get to like level 63.
Oh, he might be a new character.
Okay.
Because I played a little bit of the first part, and there's a lot of extra just,
Oh, I'm
I don't want
positive
to
it
call it
is.
filler, but
They had to change the plotting and the timing and whether you think it was right or not to turn a game into like 3 individual full-length games is right or not. They did like change yeah, they changed the plotting and stuff, I'm sure, but I'm enjoying it.
I mean, technically, if you think about in the old days of the PS1, one game was one
One disc.
disc,
That's true.
and the original game was 3 discs.
Yeah. So
And
like yeah.
Final Fantasy VIII came around and made it 4 discs.
So yeah, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Again, it's a time sink. Like it's like you sit down, you play it, and it's a lot. But I do enjoy it because I like the storytelling. Just because there's something about ridiculous storytelling and like world building that the Japanese do that like no one else does. Like take it. I mean, like just like all the Metal Gear Solid games, Death Stranding, Nier Automata, choose like take any Japanese game. Like they do a really interesting job of blending generally they blend mysticism and realism, I think, pretty well sometimes. And sometimes they'll just go completely off the walls and like say F realism, all crazy mysticism. But I think Japanese storytelling is super good. And I think it's due to
They,
come
yeah.
back. No, speak, please.
Oh, I agree. And and I mean maybe this is turning around. Actually, maybe it is coming back. Yeah, the Japanese storytelling has always been, I would say, top notch. Granted, I mean they have done some weird things.
There's always weird
Um,
things. Well, like, so
Um,
I'm okay. So I'm gonna take us on a brief tangent here, but I'm watching Sword Art Online, right? And like, bruh, like, there's sometimes you just kind of go, right, this is Japanese. There's just gonna be some weird things that you just can't go. Was that necessary?
I've actually, it's not family friendly, but I've heard why that's a thing, and it makes sense, but it's still weird. Um, but no, and that's a thing that I've noticed. I guess I noticed a while ago in our games. A lot of the younger generation, uh,
They've only grown up
the one
playing
behind
Fortnite.
us, it's a lot of yeah, your Fortnites, your Call of Duties. At least Halo did a good job. They had a story, and it ended up being a pretty in-depth story. And
Until
and
Infinite
and I
ruined it.
know Call of yeah, and I think Call of Duty has a story, but
It
um,
yeah.
it's the American mindset has been, at least from what I noticed, was more on the gameplay, action shoot 'em up, as opposed to, the heavy storytelling. The, not a whole lot happens, but info dump. Like your JRPGs, there's not a I mean, there's action and there's, fighting, but it's turn-based. A lot of the old ones, turn-based battle systems, and just, you had half a dozen to a dozen different characters with their own story arcs, and yeah. But I
Yeah.
think I think we're coming around to that heavy storytelling again. And that Japanese. Actually, I just rewatched a couple of film theories, technically, the Avatar ones,
Hmm.
and that was the closest. I mean, on the topic of anime, that was probably the only American anime that's ever existed. I would argue has ever existed. Um, that you could call proper or come close to calling proper anime.
Yeah. The animation style. Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. I think we're coming around to something new, or we're a resurgence of.
I think so, and especially because you got Kojima's got several like now unannounced games. You got the guy who created Silent Hills creating a new, the original creator of Silent Hills creating a new horror game. Whether it's good or not, who knows? But you got all that. Right. I thought of something while you're talking about American gaming is great. America's greatest influence on gaming is the battle pass. Like the best, the only thing they've given to the gaming industry is the battle pass, and I hate us. I hate us so much. I'm glad that you agree, because this PlayStation executive, although I guess he's probably not wrong, but he thinks that generative AI is the future of for more meaning and personalization, for like better storytelling, that kind of stuff. And maybe that's all I'm going to leave it, because AI is a big philosophical debate. But maybe, and even so, it could still be done with Japanese storytelling. But maybe.
I get that AI can do those things and write a decent story.
I'll go on a quick tangent. I saw a video about it this week where basically might have been Nvidia's technology, but basically it requires a real writer. They write like the character's backstory, they write like personality traits and that kind of stuff for the character. And then the generative AI just basically pumps out a story or a conversation based on character traits, that kind of stuff. So like it, without getting too deep into the weeds of AI, like I think the best AI tools will still require human intervention. And Japanese storytelling will, like, if Japanese storytelling sees a resurgence in generative AI as part of it, could work. But I think at the very least, yeah, we'll see a resurgence of Japanese storytelling again, because it's just it hits different for gamers. There's a reason why nearly every gamer is kind of a weeb on some level.
Yeah, and I would say some of the best games I've ever played were Japanese made.
And then I think let's just do a couple. We're just going to do our last topic as last two topics as quick hits, just because we've been recording for a little over an hour. So we'll just kind of quickly touch on our last two topics. All right, you can start, sir.
So, I mean, musical gems. The first one, Dub FX, I discovered him a long time ago, back when when Wimp.com was a thing. I don't know if it's still a thing. Do you even remember that?
I don't even know what that is.
It, it was a web page that I don't know who ran it, but he posted like a single like random video every single day, and you could click on it and see what it was.
Hmm.
And it was a link to basically what he does is uh, it's all his voice, and he just loop tracks it and dubs over it. So it's he'll build a song live using his voice
Okay.
looped through a looper, and throw different effects on it to get like your bass line, your percussion, your whatever. And he's got some bangers. I'm just gonna say that. And I like the idea of that's all that there is. Every part of that song is him or his voice, and that's the gimmick that he's gone with, and he can and has the talent to build a song that sounds fantastic. Uh, the other three discovered recently, Chase Holfelder, heard of him through a friend. He does basically what I like about him is he does covers, but he changes them to his, because you get your like pop goes punk, or you get your rock covers
Yep.
of different songs. His it's kind of like the one I just listened to, he does a cover of Kiss the Girl from Little Mermaid, slowed way down, and almost like I don't know if he put it in a minor key, but it sounds kind of
Hmm.
like that, almost like a darker version. And he's done like a couple of the big like I'm gonna forget the names of them, but like your breakups, like your Whitney Houston breakup songs, like
Sure.
uh, and just slow them down and
Hmm.
make them darker. And I don't think that's all that he does, but that's, I mean, it's a new fresh take on some of those, and it is almost more fitting, although the Kiss the Girl one is not quite. Although if you think about the song, anyways, different topic. uh Livingston, recommend looking him up. I think I saw him on like Instagram, and he like exploded. He got super like big. Um, he's got, I mean, he's written some. I I almost want to say kind of like a Billie Eilish kind of story, where it's really just him, and he's
Hmm.
writing songs. I know hers.
I,
It's kind of apples to oranges,
I honestly I don't know Billie Eilish's story, so
but yeah, I don't know his full backstory, uh, or why he started, but he's some of his videos, like he'll do a where he's sitting on a park bench, and it's like I think one of them is like, if you're depressed, come sit here, and someone sits down, and he's like, put on these headphones, and then he starts playing one of his songs, and you get a live reaction, and he's some good songs,
hmm.
I would say. And then Jeremy Renner writes music. I think he has an album out.
He
I've
does.
heard a few of the songs. They're good. Um, yeah, apparently he's musically talented.
I remember seeing a news article at some point, like I want to say it was like a year or two ago. I might have to listen to him. I can't make any promises, but like I might give him a listen here just because it's Jeremy Renner. Like, why not see what the guy also has for talent there? So
So it's, yeah, I would recommend starting with what's the song I've been listening to? Main Attraction
okay,
is the one that I've been listening to lately, and I think he has another one that he kind of wrote as a letter to his daughter,
Hmm.
which is also really good. But yeah, sometimes you're surprised by who has, musical talent. They've been acting. You know them as for one
One
thing,
thing, yeah.
and then
Turns out they're
they
also
come out
super
and
talented in other stuff. Yeah, that makes sense.
check them out.
I'll definitely.
You and all our listeners, check them out.
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly, I will probably try to do that this week. Just because, yeah, just find something to listen to for funsies. And then my quick topic, hopefully, that I'm just gonna turn to a quick hit. It's definitely absolutely the year of the handhelds. I think for anyone who listens, wait till the next AP. Wait till like Ryzen or AMD announces their next APU. Just because everything for the by and large, for the most part, is just running off of Z1 Extreme, which is phenomenal. I love it. Like at this point, you're buying something that's everything's doing a mid-generation refresh at this point with the I'm just gonna call it. I prefer to call it the Z1 in terms of Z1. The Z1 AP Z1 Extreme. I think just it's good, but it's mid. It's kind of mid-cycle right now. So like everything that you're seeing is great if you don't have a handheld and you can afford it. Think about it, but wait. But the kind of the cool things are like I have a ROG Ally. Asus announced upgraded ROG Ally. It's called the ROG Ally X. Comes with basically twice the battery capacity. Comes stock with a terabyte and comes with more RAM. The biggest thing that really matters is the RAM, just because it's a major increase going from 16 to 24 gigabytes. Because that more or less allows you to just kind of have the integrated GPU on in the Z1 Extreme just have 8 gigabytes, or hell, you can give it 12 gigabytes if you really wanted to, and you'd probably be okay. Asus has actually done some cool stuff with that because you can also have it intelligently like select how much RAM the GPU needs at any given time. So that's kind of nice. But then yeah, you got like the Zotac is another. It's not listed in my rundown here, but yeah, it's a bunch of. There's like a bunch of handhelds. The link is there for our notes. I don't know if I'm gonna post it for listeners. Probably. Handhelds, they're definitely here, but honestly, if you don't have one and you can wait, just wait to the next generation at this point, because like that's kind of where I feel like I'm at, where I'm like, I love my ROG Ally. I'm gonna hold on to it for as long as possible, but like I'll probably stick an Asus guy, but it's gonna really depend on what other manufacturers bring up. Just because, honestly, it's what feels best and gives the best kind of options.
Yeah.
And what works best for you too, because some people prefer the Steam Deck because it's like a console versus a Windows experience, and there's something to be said for having more of a console-like experience. But then you're playing with, will this game run on my Steam Deck, which is not as bad as it used to be, and it's actually I think in pretty good shape. But I'm a tinkerer, so I like Windows, having a Windows handheld. I do want to point out, Apple, stop putting 8 gigabytes of RAM in your laptops and in your computers. That stuff, that decision, that stuff, not right. Just not right. 8 gigabytes doesn't cut it in 2024. I don't care what you're doing for your RAM management. 8 gigabytes does not cut it for the base. There we go.
Eight is not enough. Not in these days. Eight is not enough.
The ROG Ally is $700. Like the base, like you can get a Z1 non-extreme version for like $600. It's like $600. Comes standard with 16 gigabytes of RAM. Like I don't care that Apple says, "Well, we're using faster RAM." And listen, Apple, I love you. I'll sing your praises when you're due, but 8 gigabytes isn't enough.
Let me get this straight. Mostly just because I want to hear you say it out loud. Are you saying that a non-Apple company is doing things better than Apple
Oh,
is.
absolutely. I've got no problem saying that. I just will also praise Apple when they do things right. Like, for example, the fact I can use my iPhone as a webcam and you still can't do anything like that on a Windows computer. Point to Apple for that.
I'm still a avid not Apple person.
That's fair. You're allowed to be, and
Although,
I'm allowed to
the,
just be technology focused.
I mean, I don't get the cool thumbs up bubble, so there's that. I think it is we're coming to the age of the handhelds. I mean, the Switch was a big
It was a
thing, and
watershed moment.
Nintendo's and that's always been Nintendo's. That's what I like about Nintendo. That's a whole other topic. But I think I think what the ROG Ally is doing is showing that it can be done, and would like to get something like that because I do like my PC games and the ability to play. I mean, with the Steam Cloud, and I can play Stardew Valley and save, and then take my laptop to my parents' house and still play my saves.
Yep.
But I mean, granted, I would get nothing done if I had a handheld PC.
You never
But
know. You're getting old. You're getting old enough to the point where
I,
some of those priorities
yeah,
just kind of have to get done.
the joys of being an adult.
No one warned us. But on the
But
upside, you also get adult money for things like handheld computers. But definitely for handhelds, also the other thing that for you and for any other listeners, stick to the big brands for right now. So like, you got the ROG Ally with Asus. You got the HP Legion Go. You got Steam Deck. Obviously, I think. So I'd say basically stick to well-known PC brands like Ioneos are great, but the well-known PC brands are kind of able to subsidize the prices a little bit more than like say the Ioneos and that kind of stuff because they're like super niche. They're using the same internals by and large, maybe some extra stuff here and there. Yeah. Oh, also, and it's not MSI Cloth. That's another one that came out, but it's using Intel processors, which is weird. But supposedly is okay. But I'd say stick with if you or anyone who's looking at a handheld, stick to the AMD processor line for your handhelds. It's so far it just seems demonstrably better. Also, spoiler: a lot of Xbox games were announced today. Cool. I haven't. The only one I'm really super excited for, I think, is the new Doom game, and that's really about it. Like, I don't care about the 3 new consoles. I guess Gears of War E-Day, Fables reboot, that will be... I'm actually excited for the Fable reboot. I lied. There's that, and Perfect Dark reboot, and Doom the Dark Ages. That's for all of us Xbox Game Pass people. I don't know what to call it. It's cool, but I'm not too passionate about it. But it's kind of nice to have some of these stuff coming to PC just because it's going to be fun. Stuff like that is what makes handheld gaming a little more fun. Just being able to play through Hades a little bit. 'Cause I did some of that this weekend, and because I really want to beat Hades, and I play through it in such a I still haven't completely gotten all the story out of Hades yet.
Are they coming out with a second one?
It's in beta right or pre-release or whatever they call it on Steam. Like you can buy it in pre-release form, in early access. That's the word I'm looking for. You can buy it in early access, but I still haven't beat 1, so like I'm not going. I'm frankly probably just gonna wait till it releases because I love Supergiant games, but like I'm still working on beating Hades, and I still haven't like gotten all the conversations with everyone. So I got plenty of stuff to do in Hades once as I beat Final Fantasy VII, and after I beat Final Fantasy VII, I'm gonna move to Death Stranding because I'm like on a Japanese storytelling kick. Listening to Ray play Metal Gear Solid at night for like every day for like the past week straight. Shout out to Ray Narvaez Jr. # sponsor us. Tangent before we crash the plane. Everyone tells me, why don't you like Elden Ring? You seem like the guy that would like Elden Ring. And I'm just gonna go, it's not telling me the story directly, dog.
No, you have to dig for that.
You have to dig so hard for story, and it pisses me the frack off. Because it...
What? You're not being spoon-fed? You have to dig for your lore?
I don't mind digging for some... I don't mind digging for story and lore, but I want a reason to dig for it. Not like you got to dig to find the baseline story and lore.
That's fair.
Most people are like, yeah, I know this because of this YouTuber who explained it to me. So the game didn't explain it to you. A YouTuber explained it to you. Yeah, that's how I know all this. And then this happened and the lore. And who told you that? Was it the game? Did you learn this in the game? Oh, you can if you talk to this guy like 10 times. And then after you talk to him 10 times, you run halfway across the map to talk to someone else. Like,
it just sounds like they sound like you. They want someone else to dig for the lore for them and then tell them to them.
Yeah.
Because it's there.
It's there,
but they got it from some other...
They got it from another source. They went, oh, great YouTuber in the sky, tell me the story of this game, because it ain't telling me poo. Outside of Arise Ye Tarnished, which, yes, is the best, like, the hottest delivery of a voice line ever. I'll give it that. I have real problems with the storytelling of that I actually just have real problems with that franchise in general.
I mean,
it's ruined gaming too.
I can't hate on you too much for it. I can't hate on you too much for it because I will probably never play Souls or Bloodborne or Elden Ring, and I will just watch someone else play it.
You watch, yep. And they decide, and look, and I like things like Hades, but roguelites came out because they went, oh, people like Soulsborne games. They like really hard things repetitively. So we got the deluge of rogue and roguelite games that, like, there's some good ones and I enjoy them. Like, I have Dead Cells, you got Hollow Knight, which are Metroidvania roguelites, you know, but like still there are roguelites. Elden Ring and Souls-like games ruined gaming. And on that note, what do you think of Elden Ring? Tell us in the comments. Seriously.
Do you agree with us? Do you think we're wrong?
Do you think my hot take is a hot pile of garbage? Or do you think I am dead set on the money? Because if you have an opinion, you should tell us in the comments. And just another reminder while we're on that note, guys, please, if you have liked any part of this, if you have liked any clips, anything, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, all that kind of good stuff. Anthony and I would both greatly appreciate it, wouldn't we, Anthony?
We would. Absolutely.
So much so. We want to do this stuff for you guys all the time, but we're also just going to do this to catch up because adulting sucks. And we just like to do what we do. Now we're just going to do the whole crashing the plane part. Whee! Thank you guys so very much for watching. We do appreciate it. As always, again, like we mentioned before, I'll say it again. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Tell me that I'm stupid about my take on Elden Ring, and you could tell Anthony that he's got great ideas in listening to Jeremy Renner. You know, let us know in the comments. Tell us what you think about our opinions, our hot takes, all that kind of good stuff. We want to hear it. Until next week, next time we upload a video, which should be soon. I'm going to upload this as fast as freaking possible. Until next time, guys, have a wonderful week, and we love all yo faces, and we'll see you guys in the next video. How many YouTubers can I copy at once? Okay, bye, guys.
Goodbye.